He said yes, and we saw the white smoke, the bells were ringing, the faithful cheering around the world, and that includes Father Vito Crincoli. He is a legionary of Christ and works with our youth here in the D.C. area, and actually lived and studied in Vatican City during the papacies of John Paul II, Benedict XVI, and Francis. Father Vito, it is so wonderful to have you with me.
I'm excited, but the only thing is I feel out of place because everybody's talking about Chicago, and I'm from New Jersey. So, I mean, to all those Chicago fans out there, the Pope loves everybody, right?
That is true. And he made that very clear. He is a Christian, but he's also your priest, too.
I was getting a little jealous. Everybody's the Chicago Cubs. You got the deep dish pizza. I'm like, well, then what can I say? You know?
Hey, you're Italian. You were working in Latin America for almost 20 years. You identify a lot with this Pope. And on top of that, oh my gosh, he's the first American Pope. And I have to tell everybody, you know, we were talking about the Room of Tears. This was the studio of tears. As soon as this happened, you were tearing up.
Yes.
Why was this so, let's just start overall, why was this so emotional for you?
Okay, this whole conclave process, I mean, I've been following it like from the first day. And just seeing how people are really following the conclave. I mean, I don't remember the conclave of John Paul II, but Benedict, I do remember. Francis, I do remember, obviously. But I never saw, like, the amount of attention that this conclave was actually getting. I mean, everybody, like on the phones, even sometimes the jokes, which I always, but I'm saying like
you
people
called it the conclave madness.
Yeah.
You even said to me this morning, you said, Kira, you've heard of March Madness. This is conclave madness.
No, this is conclave madness. And that actually came from the kids I work with. They were like, Father, do you believe in conclave madness? And what I'm saying is there's been emotion from day one. From day one.
Why?
I think it's because there's been a good impact. Right? There's been a good impact by Pope Francis. He left an impact. He did. He loved us. His gestures said it all, right? I mean, we can go all day about the gestures, right? The things he did, the things he had touched on, the people he loved, his acceptance. I mean, he left a mark, right? But what's happening now is just seeing the emotion of people. People were excited to know who's coming after. And it's not to compare with the new Pope. Like everybody's saying, well, we hope he's like Francis. Well, it's not about being like Francis. People are looking for a Pope who loves Jesus. And I'm seeing that a lot in just the comments of talking to people. Look, I'll give you an example of the excitement. I come into this office right now, and as soon as I walk into the office, there's white smoke, and everybody got excited, right? Last week, I'm walking through the streets of Georgetown, and I go to have a hamburger, and there are these students from Georgetown. They're like, are you a priest? I said, yeah. He goes, are you excited? And I'm like, I didn't realize it. What, excited for what? And they're like, no. The conclave. And it's like, and again, this is what's building up the emotion. People are excited. Our faith is an Easter faith. It's not about death. It's not negative. It's not being pessimistic. We are an Easter people. And I mean that.
You talk about the conclave madness. Now, this historic moment, the first Pope ever born in the United States of America, born in Chicago. What does that say? What does that mean? What is that telling us about the future of the Catholic Church, your future as a priest?
Okay, so the future, I mean, we know we're in God's hands. I'll give you an example of that too. So we talked about the conclave lineup, right? The first liners of cardinals. We had Pizzavalla, we had...
we were practicing the Italian names
exactly.
with you.
We were saying who's going to be the runner-up, right? Even some of the kids at work, like, Father, who are you going for, right? Because the Italian name, like, you must be going for an Italian. I mean, we had names put up there, but yet God's a person of surprises. How many faces must have lit up when they saw this man come to the balcony, right? And what does that say? It's not so much about God is watching. God is watching. He's accompanying us right now. And whoever he puts, he will accompany us, right? The future's in God's hands. Right now, the good Lord is asking us, because right now we're talking about this Pope, and it's like, well, what the future's going to be, who he's going to support, etc. Right now, what I think we need to do is live day by day and walk with this Pope too, and pray for this Pope, right? Pray for the Pope. Because I told you before, like I had said to you, it's like, this is not an award. He hasn't been awarded. He's been given a responsibility. So we must pray. The future is in God's hands, and we know we're in good hands, right?
As we all looked at Leo XIV, Pope Leo XIV, he was clearly holding back the emotion. You saw him sniffling. You saw his eyes starting to water. He was standing there. You felt something. I know you don't know exactly what was going on in his mind, but from your experiences living in Vatican City, knowing these cardinals, knowing what a conclave is like, this whole process, what do you think was, how do you think he was feeling? What was he praying? What's going through a cardinal's mind when he finds out he's now the Pope?
Okay, so here comes imagination, right? I'm imagining this poor man hearing his name repeated, right? Like Prevost, Prevost, if it was like that, Prevost, Prevost. And I could just imagine, maybe like we could imagine, it was him probably feeling like, I know this is coming, right? I can also probably feel I mean, it's very hard to sort of say because we're not physically there, but I think it's just the emotion of, now it's my turn, right? What happens maybe for the people who've been elected Pope, for the men who've been elected Pope, it's a challenge, but also it's the emotion of, this is on me. But I also think too, the emotion of the other cardinals to see him elected, the emotion of the people. I mean, he's probably not accustomed to going on a balcony and seeing millions of people looking at him and cheering for him. It's another thing, right? But also I think, and I will say, speaking more from what one can think, I'm sure this man, when he went to pray, he put it in God's hands. He put it in God's hands, said, Lord, I'm yours, right? I'm yours. Guide me. And again, I've said this to you before. These are men who need to love Jesus. These are men that are loving Jesus and want to bring us Jesus. So I think there's got to be a lot of emotion, right? We can't really put our finger on it, but I'm sure, I just imagine Preville's poor guy, right? He's like hearing his name and this is going to fall on me. But I'm sure there was trust, the trust in God. Lord, I'm here to serve. Sure enough, that had to have come.
We are here in our nation's capital. You hold Mass in the most beautiful cathedrals here in Washington, D.C., Maryland, Virginia. I know politics is always around you. You're talking about politics. You're meeting people talking about politics. Pope Francis, he had words to say about President Trump. Does Pope Leo XIV need to take this same type of stance? He has talked about J.D. Vance in the past, but is this the time? Immigration is very important to him. He's a dual citizen from Peru. He's spent so much time in Latin America. How do you feel he needs to take on this, I guess, very volatile political time right now?
Okay, there is a political turbulence that's happening, right? But I'm thinking though, from one aspect, I'm wondering, I think the first thing he would, I'm not saying, I don't know his agenda, right? There's plenty of surprises, but I think for any bishop, the first thing that's probably on their mind is, I need to be a man of prayer, right? I don't want to make it sound mystical when I'm going to respond to you, but the thing is this is a man who I'm sure there's many agendas. I'm sure people are going to come to him with many things to do, right? It's happened to Pope Benedict as well when he was elected Pope. Oh, Your Holiness, there are things to resolve. The thing is, I'm sure for a man of God, he's going to try to be a man of prayer first, and he's going to walk slowly, right? That's probably what's going to happen in the first part. He's going to learn how to be Pope. He's going to take it slow. But I think the thing is, prioritizing what is important is he wants to serve the people of God. And how can he serve the people of God better, right? So with J.D. Vance and Trump, we'll see as time goes on, right? Because we don't know what's going to happen right now. All we know right now is he loves the Cubs. He loves deep dish pizza, right? He's taken the name Leo XIV, which, you know something, looking into the history, the Leos were strong popes. Like Leo XIII, he loved his people. He loved his people. His people, he considered man not a machine. A man's work was a reflection of his dignity. This Pope, for some reason, we don't know this yet, but it'd be really interesting to know why he took the name Leo. We'll probably find out as time goes on, but I would say, Kira, to respond to your question, what lies with J.D. Vance, what lies with Trump, it's very hard to know right now.
Well, Apparently, Trump just responded. So let's take a listen to what the president has to say about our new pope.
What greater honor could there be? And we're a little bit surprised, very happy. It's just a great, absolutely great honor.
He didn't mention that he was disappointed he didn't become pope. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with Father Vito and our continuing coverage of the world's new pope.